Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy!
On this episode of Pennies Going in Raw, we update this week in the market, talk about Apple's new change, and also things Hugh would never do in his Roth IRA.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello, 40% is a fucking killing.
We've been compliant for too long. It's time we go to war.
I don't have a Roth.
Hugh knows so much about the market that his brain doesn't have enough room for grammar.
Hey, who told me about IDEX? It's going up a shit ton now.
Rob, 4%, baby. No way. 4 fucking percent.
You asked the exact same question with 2 words different.
It's like, man, I just got dick whipped for like 20%, and now that f***er's up like 50.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
I'm just making this voice memo to call out unusual whales to a fight. The pennies we need are everywhere around us. Pennies.
Going in Raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity of Dips, and Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny.
And Christian.
Let's go, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going in Raw. Today is Wednesday. October the 5th. Took me a second to realize what month the 10 was. 9 I always know because it's my birthday month. But how was your trading day, man?
Today?
Yeah, how was it?
It was okay. I had that Tesla swing short that we talked about on Sunday, which overall worked out really good. But today I ended up cutting the rest for a little bit of like an unrealized loss. So like overall.
So is this your update on your Tesla trade?
Yeah, so we could do an update on the Tesla trade. The Tesla trade on Sunday, I talked about it. And
you were already swinging some, correct?
I was already swinging some. And we woke up on Monday. On Monday at 9:30, it opened up and it was at open, not 252. And it went to the low of 241. And I told you guys that like my first target was around 247. So I cut some there. And then I cut up a little bit more towards the end of the day. And then
is the value of your options going down as you're cutting it, or are they going up?
They're going up.
Okay.
Because I was swinging November 18 puts.
All right, cool. Gotcha.
So they were like 6 weeks out of the money. So I had plenty of time. But I cut a large majority. And then towards the end of the day, I cut a little bit more. And then today, it got back up to like 250. And it was honestly like I was like, damn, like, you know, I guess I should have cut like 75%. But you know, I really just didn't believe in it. And I was like, I've never seen a stock go from up, down 8% to up 5%. Like that's just never happened. It was super odd. And then, you know, the Twitter news came out and it got smoked. And so then when it got smoked, I cut the rest. Still was down on the day on it a little bit, but overall huge win. I think like 30% win on the equity underlying, which, you know, for 2 days, like I was swinging for maximum 6 weeks, you know, like I really couldn't be upset about it. So great win overall.
All right. Well,
time to look for another little win.
Yeah, I spent my day waiting for the Overwatch 2 servers to come out. So shout out Activision Blizzard, ticker ATVI, for sucking all day. Really appreciate that one. Completely blew. But yeah, that was really dope. So thanks a lot for that. So I'm sure everyone else had that problem too, and I'm not the only one. But moving on to talk about SPY. I know we kind of clickbaited the last title as SPY to 250. But I mean, we talked about it going to 330 and then down a little more. And you saw a just hard reversal this week. It's like the market said, fuck this podcast. We're going hard.
Yeah. Yeah. But The one thing I want to mention is that two things. So next week in nine days, we have CPI. And this little rally is on very, very little volume. So it's not necessarily a bear or a bull, like case here, but it's just something that I want you all to keep in mind because I think it's important. Now, CPI next week, I think dictates a lot in the market. And what I mean by that is that do we see 400 or do we see 350? Because again, if you guys remember, on the last bear market rally, we saw the Fed come out and say that they believe that the inflation rate has peaked and that we will see substantial, progress, let's call it. If there's not substantial progress with CPI, I would have to imagine that we might honestly halt down. Because again, the Fed really just kind of put their nuts on the table and said, we are going to do this, and CPI has peaked. And even yesterday, they came out and said inside the morning that they believe that inflation will be down to 4% soon. That's really not.
Yeah, it seems a little hopeful.
Yeah. So, that's what I mean is that if CPI is higher, which I personally don't think it will be, but if it is, oh boy, that's no bueno.
And how long do we have till that one?
That is next Thursday.
Okay, so
next Thursday.
We'll have an episode Wednesday for right before it, and then we'll have one to record basically the very next day with the reaction the market has. So I think that'll be a good update for everyone.
Yes. And basically, I think that right now, we should just be patient, let the market do its thing, and then we will wait to strike. Because, like I said, is that the market will probably dictate the next few weeks by CPI. So I wouldn't get overly bullish or bearish. However, we needed this relief bounce. I think that the market has room to 380 to 390. And then after that, we probably chop until next week when we go to CPI. And that's kind of my thoughts on SPY. Like I said, is that, it's tough for me because I don't like these drastic moves. Unless I'm sized, which I wasn't. And so it's tough for me to buy up here. And just like it was tough for me to short when we were at 355.
Yeah. Okay. To kind of update you guys on one thing that happened or we talked about last week, because and this had just happened whenever we were talking about it. Essentially, Dish had closed off. What was it? ESPN and all this stuff right before college football came out. And we thought Dish would drop a lot and they create opportunities for things like FUBO and stuff. Well, FUBO did go up around 20, 25% the past 2 days, but Dish also came up 10%, showed no even hard selling in the morning. Is this kind of the aspect of investors really don't give a shit about these minor squabbles, even though it seems like it could be a bigger one, but at the same time, hey, we're not spending $1 billion on Disney, so it'll make next earnings look better.
Yeah, I guess it really just doesn't the market just doesn't really care that much. I guess it's one of those things where it's kind of priced in. That's all I can really think of. I really don't know. I really thought that it was going to get smoked personally. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I thought it was going to get smoked. It didn't. And I guess it's really just more of a priced in move. And that makes sense. We really didn't know much about it, but that makes sense because I guess this has been the works,
Yeah. It's been one of those things where they were talking about it. Hey, we're having issues with them. We may not do it, back and forth for a year or whatever. It happens every now and then with these big providers and these channels, and they're always going to have something to work out. But no, it's just surprising that nothing really happened, off rip for it. But hey, things change. Another thing we want to talk about just came out today was, and I'm not sure how this affects everything, but Europe decided that Apple has got to make all their chargers universal for USB-C, which are essentially the things that currently charge your phone that plug into the box, like the little oval one, not exactly the lightning charger, but the other side of it. So essentially it'd just be two of those sides are USB to USB-C. That's what it's supposed to be for all of Europe. And I assume they're going to make it like that for everywhere, or either just add a USB or lightning to USB-C converter in the box that your iPhone comes in. I'm not sure if they can find a little wiggle way around it. That would obviously be pretty annoying to have to use a converter for everything. But it's also kind of annoying to have to change all your charger cables. So what do you think this kind of affects? I don't know how much you know about it, but I mean, that's kind of just the general gist of it.
Yeah. So I definitely don't know that much about it. However, it's a damn good idea. I mean, I wish they would make something universal because it's so dang annoying for all these adapters and converters. I was just in Europe and holy hell, man, it is not easy using all these different converters and adapters. So I think it's a damn good idea. I don't think anyone has the patent like the patent adapter thing, right? Like the USB-C like can't be patented, right? Or trademarked.
Dude, I have. Yeah, that is above my pay grade. I
mean, that would be ridiculous, but I don't think that is.
It has been wild that they haven't made all these universal. I mean, you just assume that Apple made them, their own just to not exact, they could just have all their bigger price and everything. I mean, if they're the only ones with this charger and they know people are going to use iPhones regardless, obviously they can just charge $25 for this lightning charger. So, I mean, going back on it, it's pretty surprising. But I mean, I guess government officials over there made that decision for them.
Yeah, which it's really interesting that they did that and they chose the USB-C. But I don't know. I don't even know how they're allowed to do that, honestly. Well, I guess it makes sense, but I don't know. It also, like I said, is that if it is patented, which I don't think it is, wow, that person bullish on their net worth,
bank account, yeah,
because that's ridiculous. But good for them, clean up, son, and everybody else who makes regular USB and the normal ones, it bears on theirs, Yeah,
fuck them, dude. Yeah, no, it's crazy how like often these are changing. Like you just thought like the USBs would be around forever, and now we just, I mean, your computer, not too many computers unless they're like Macs have the USB-Cs on them. Like I just bought this one a year and a half ago when everything was already full USB-C and it didn't have one on it. So
yeah, no, not even close.
Yeah. So but I mean, and now just the 2021 and up cars are the only ones that have them,
Yeah, exactly. So it's a really interesting move, but I don't hate it because it makes sense. Why don't you just make one universal?
Yeah, I think Apple's going to be the only one with an issue with that. But moving forward, you wanted to talk about things you would not do in your Roth IRA.
Yeah,
have one.
Number one is that I wouldn't have too much cash inside my Roth IRA. And I think that this is really important because one message that I always get is, hey, Hugh, I have a Roth IRA. I contribute to it a lot. I took my money out last year when the market got to, 4,500, talking about the SPX. And I'm waiting on the sideline. I don't know when to get back in. Well, listen, the market has never not gone higher. And if you can time the market, great. However, that's incredibly difficult. So instead, just keep your money and contribute and continue to contribute. That's the best and easiest way to make sure that you don't miss out on gains because we're always going to go, like the market has never not gone higher. I want you guys to understand that. And I want you to hear that inside your sleep. So knowing that the market has never not gone higher, just dollar cost average in. It's the easiest way. It's the best way. So I would never have cash on the side because I'm going to contribute every year. So when I contribute, what's going to happen? When I contribute, it's going to come and I'm just going to dollar cost average in and it's going to be great. So I would never have cash. That is number one. What do you think about that? Do you agree?
Never have cash. I mean, I'm not as big of a Roth IRA guy or a long-term swinger as you, but I think having a little bit just in case this crazy dip that even you keep talking about happens.
But like at the worst case scenario, like what? I'm going to contribute to it next year. I'm going to contribute to it the second I can. So great. I'll put this, like even if your account is at I don't know, let's just say that you have 10 shares. I don't know. 10 shares of the S&P 500, which, let's just say you have 10 shares, I mean, if I had 6,000, and I'm just going to be able to buy more shares if it's cheaper. And if it's not, who cares, because that means that my account is higher. That's the way I look at it. I don't know. What's the worst case scenario? I can't buy for what's the worst case scenario is that the absolute worst case scenario is that I buy it. The day that I contribute and the day that I buy it is top. Okay. But then what's the worst case scenario? Within that year, the market just gets smoked. All right, great. Then I blow another $6,000 on it. And then what happens? That's the top again. Then great. I'll just keep dollar cost averaging in because the only thing that we know for certain is that the market's never not gone higher.
Yeah, you've mentioned that one. But no, I mean, it just seems like, when you're saving money, always have cash on the side for a dip. It just seems like it's different this time. Obviously, you're going to have $6,000 more every year, but, especially in these rocky times, and not everyone has exactly the same capital as you. Maybe this Roth IRA is really important. And what if they're even getting closer, to that age? Do they slowly start selling it off? How do you even approach that?
Well, that actually brings me to number 2, which number 2 is that I would never have it completely just in stocks. And as I get older, I would switch what the percentage is. Because as I get older, the worst case scenario for you would be, let's just say you're 65 January 1st. Which was the top of the market. And now you got to start selling some, to live. That would be the worst case scenario is that you basically retire at top. But I think it's important that as you get closer to retirement age, switching over from less risky, switching over to some bonds, switching over to some other things. I mean, you can even this is the craziest thing. And this will bring me to number 3. So I don't want to give it away yet, but there's a lot of different alternatives for your Roth IRA that a lot of people don't know about, which is number 3, but I won't get there yet. But so number 2, like I said, is as I got older, I would switch what I was invested in. You know what I mean? And I think that that's really important because I don't want to be inside a situation where I'm retiring at 65 because I don't want to time the market though. And if you guys aren't hearing it, this is that's the common theme is I don't want to time the market. So one way to do that is that as I get older, switching into less risky stuff so that even if the market does go down, I don't necessarily have to touch that side of it. But inside the same token, I still want to have exposure to the market. So that's number 2. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that one.
And so that brings me to number 3, which I had mentioned. Number 3 is that I would invest in other things other than just stocks. And what I mean by that is that you can actually change, but not change, but you can have your Roth invested in multiple different things. So if I could, I would actually own an investment property inside my Roth IRA. And you can do that.
Yeah, that would. You can.
You can do that. You can do that. There is a lot of rules around it. And so that's why I say, if you can, I would invest my Roth IRA into an investment property, because that's going, like we just talked about in number 2, that's going to be something that's going to pay me forever. So if I can, I would do the Roth IRA, because basically, like, once you're 65, like, think about it, like, all that money is just going to grow tax free. And again, like, I don't know the exact rules behind it and stuff like that, but it's something that I've been looking into and that I really, really want to do.
Yeah, no, I think, and do you know any of the rules off the top of your head of like what could prevent you from having that?
All right. So I am on IRAfinancialgroup.com. Okay.
Okay.
So it says a self-directed Roth IRA to purchase real estate is a wise choice. As you may know, there are many benefits to establish this type of retirement plan. Again, with the self-directed IRA, you can invest outside of traditional investments. This allows you to diversify your portfolio and better protect your assets. Blah, 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 blah. As a result of diversification, blah, blah, blah. To point out, alternative investments such as real estate have always been possible investments. Yet prior to 2008, very few people knew self-directed retirement plans and alternative investments. The small group wasn't knowledgeable of this, didn't get hit as badly by the crisis. Now, below, we may provide a partial list of domestic or foreign real estate investments you can make with your self-directed Roth IRA. Residential homes, raw land, commercial property, apartments, duplexes, condos, mobile homes, real estate notes, real estate purchase options, tax liens, tax deeds. That sounds like everything to me. Like, that sounds like I don't feel like anything was really left out of that as far as like what you can buy. And so they said, they go on to continue by saying, if you purchase a piece of property with your self-directed IRA for $100,000 and you later sold the property for $300,000, the $200,000 appreciation gain would generally be tax-free. Whereas if you purchase the property using personal funds, the gain would be subject to federal tax income and in most cases, state income tax. Here's an even better example. Joe Average establishes a self-directed Roth IRA with $100,000 to purchase real estate. He also plans to make traditional/non-traditional investments. Joe Average keeps his self-directed IRA open for 20 years. Over the years, he was able to generate an average annual pre-tax return of 8%. The average tax rate is 25%. By using his tax-deferred IRA LLC strategy, 20 years later, Joe's $100,000 investment is worth $466,000. That's $349,000 after taxes. But if Joe makes an investment with taxable funds, non-retirement funds, he only makes $320,000 after the 20 years. So, all I'm saying is,
I think you're going to have to sum that up for us here.
Basically, what I'm saying is that if you can do a self-directed Roth IRA, then you're allowed to do other investments like properties. And that's one way where, you can make a large amount of money, or like, your investment will increase, and then you can take that and the gain is tax-free. Homes and real estate is a great place to make money and to make generational wealth. The only thing with real estate is that it generally takes a long time, and that's okay, because if it's inside your retirement account, then you expect it to take a long time. And so if you can invest in real estate inside your Roth, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay. And how do you even start going about that in your Roth? Like, do you go buy some real estate and say, how I put this in my Roth?
Yeah, no. So I would totally I would totally go to somebody like my accountant and lawyers know about all that. I do not. I was just told that it was a thing. And so it looked super interesting to me. However, I would totally go to someone with professional advice, because I could imagine there are. I know for a fact that there are some crazy rules behind it, like stuff that you can and can't do.
All right. Well, moving on to your last topic.
Well, that was number 3. So number 4.
Okay. Number 4
is that, and again, this is one that's obvious, but I would not take out of my Roth IRA under any circumstance. If I had to, I would pick up an Ubering job tonight if I needed money that badly. However, I would never, ever withdraw until my retirement age, until like it's my time. Because as we all know, the sooner you invest and the quicker you invest, the more that will become. So I would never, ever, ever take out of my Roth. I don't know. I can't say it any other way other than I would not take out of my Roth. I would rather pick up a job and Uber tonight than take out of my Roth IRA. Now, obviously there's exceptions. However, I would literally rather cut a finger off than take out of my Roth IRA because the future value is ridiculous. And you guys can do the numbers. There's tons of calculators out there. But even if you take out $2,000, like what that will be in a few years is it's incredible. So I wouldn't, at any cost, I would not take out of my Roth.
All right. Well, now we have to get
That was number 4.
Okay. So you have more?
I have one more.
Oh, shit. I didn't know you had 5. I thought it was 3 this whole fucking time. All right,
No,
cool.
5.
So number 5.
Number 5 is, again, one that seems rather simple. However, I want to get the point across. And number 5 is that I would forever contribute the max amount as long as I can. And I get a lot of, I won't call it hate because it's not hate, but I get a lot of comments because I hear a lot of people say, well, Hugh, like the reason that you're allowed to contribute, X amount of money is because we don't make a lot. And so because we don't make a lot, we can't contribute. And I'm telling you, figure it out. Because when you have to use the tradition, when you have to use the back door, going through your traditional, it's a pain in the butt. And you have to pay taxes on that money. So while you don't make a ton of money, because we're all going to make over the you're all going to make too much money one day. But for right now, make it work. This comes back to what I just talked about, to where I would go Uber tonight if I had to. Same thing with my Roth. To contribute to my Roth, I would Uber twice a month, because that's how worth it is. That is how worth it is. I'm telling you.
Let's say there's a parent listening right now with 2 kids, ages 4 and 12. Is there anything they can do for them to kind of?
Well, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would first do a 529 plan and, look into HSA. And then, if you can, again, I am not a financial advisor. I'm also not the IRS, but to be able to contribute to a Roth IRA, it has to be earned income. So if you feel like your 4-year-old can, has earned income, and, and again, if they work a job, even better, but even if they work for you and you can show earned income, then that's fantastic. And you can open up a Roth IRA and contribute to them, contribute for them. And that's really it on that. If you can do that, fantastic. My kids will be working at 10. They'll have that earned income. They'll make $6,000 a year, and they will have a Roth IRA. But of course, that's they actually have to have that earned income. So that is that is number 5.
All right. Well, looking forward to next week. Is there anything? I know you said CPI's on Thursday. Is there anything else that the average Joe should be looking for as we come upon this dangerous time in the market, or should we just be looking forward to 400 again?
Yeah, I would just be super nimble over the next few weeks, because we really like there's not much edge inside this market. And so when there's not much edge, it's just not that fun, I'll say, because although there might be trend trading at any second, it could change the other way, especially inside this low volume market. This is not the time to get overly bullish or overly bearish. Like let the market dictate the terms. You catch the meat of the move and then move on.
All right, guys. Well, that about sums it up unless you've got anything more for him today.
That's it for me, brother.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on Wednesday to kind of prepare for CPI data. And then on Friday, we'll record and drop it on Sunday to let you guys know how it went and how to play it from there. Thanks for listening. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.